back to video 31. One thing I want to work on in 2026 is getting more gym content on this channel. I started with gym content and then I kind of fell off with it. So I want to make sure that I'm filming the workouts and showing you guys that as well. So I'm going to try to focus on that more. But I wanted to also start this video because when I don't start the videos, it takes me 10 years to start them. So welcome to video 31. Alrighty, well, good morning. I just finished up wholesaling. I found 7 new leads this morning, which is insane, kind of unheard of, so that's cool. Also, you guys saw the title of the video. I'm about to go pick up my new computer, and I will explain what that means in a second. Alrighty, you all, welcome back. We are in the Cross store this morning, headed over to get this computer. So, fun story on this. I have a friend named Jacob. Jacob and I have trained martial arts together for about 7 years now, and I was over at his house the other day helping him assemble a desk. And I noticed he had 2 iMacs, and I was like, why do you have 2 iMacs? Like, what's the point? And he was like, he said that he used one for work, and he used the other one to make music. And I was like, oh, it's really cool. And then he was like, well, actually, I have 5 iMacs. I was like, why do you have 5? And I guess for his job, he needs to get a new one every year. He needs to be up to date. And so he has all these, like, leftover iMacs that are good, but, like, are just a few years old that he also just kind of has laying around. And he was saying that, you know, if he didn't find someone who wanted them, he was just going to take them to the dump. And I was like, I'll take one. So now I'm headed over to his house to get an iMac. And I don't know the condition of this computer. This could be like ready to go, just plug it in, biggest handout ever. Or it could be like, I need to get something to make it work, or I give it to someone else, or I part it out. I don't know what this situation is. But I do know that I'm getting a free computer of some kind, which is pretty awesome. So that's what I'm going to do right now. You guys have probably seen it. I've been doing everything on my Chromebook up until this point. So editing YouTube videos on my Chromebook or on my phone. Wholesaling real estate on my Chromebook. Crazy. So it would be really nice to just have a little bit of a better computer. That would be nice. Also, I know I keep mentioning the wholesale real estate video that has not happened yet. It's happening. It's in the process. Be patient. I know that I keep mentioning it, and people are like, what does that mean? Because I haven't made the video on it. But the video is coming, so stay tuned for that. But big things happening there. I was gonna have Daniel be part of this video to go get the computer, but he's at work right now, so it's just me. It's just me this morning. Also, while I'm here, update on jobs. I don't really want a job. I want to work for myself. That sounds great. And this last month of not having a job and just figuring it out has been fantastic, and I love that, and that's exactly what I want. And financially speaking, it doesn't make any sense. So I need to figure out getting a part-time job, which was part of the plan. If you look back at a video in December, I wrote out that plan between December 10th and March 10th, those 90 days. And so this is part of the plan. It's not the fun part of the plan, but it's part of the plan. So I'm still looking to get a job, still trying to do that. I had an interview this morning at a marketing firm, which sounds kind of fancy and cool. And that went well. I think they're going to call me between 3 and 6 p.m. today, and I'm going to find out if I got that job or not. But regardless, still looking, and might have a new computer. Well, holy shit. Alrighty, so here it is. First off, we get this cute little mouse guy. We also get this keyboard. It's kind of fraying right here, but all good. I can't complain. It's free. And then, of course, the iMac itself. It's a bit dusty, so I'm gonna wipe it off, and we're gonna see if we can get it all set up. All right, so it turns on. We're gonna see if we can set it up and connect it to my phone. All right, so quick change of plans. We're gonna set up my phone later. We're just gonna see if I can even turn it on first.
The colors of the sky fade with the setting sun as the stars begin to shine through the clear night.
All right, I think we actually did it. I'm gonna try to open up something. What do I wanna open up? Can I go to Google? Can I pull Google up? Okay, let's go to Google. Oh, wow, and then am I already signed in? Oh, wait, go back, hold on. Where's the, there we go, okay. All right, now I have to show this super far away because this has people's addresses on it, but I can access everything I need to access on here to make it work. So yeah, that's actually kind of insane. I definitely need to like watch a crash course video on like how to set up the iMac. I don't know how to open multiple tabs on here. Like there's so much I don't know how to do, but I'm sure I can figure it out. And even if I can't, just being able to have two screens, having this be one and then having my Chromebook be the other would be huge. I can't show it because I'm not going to dox his phone number to the entire world, but I just texted Daniel from my computer and that's sick. I actually can take a look. All right, we're gonna have a part 2 to this video because I'm off to martial arts place to do some training. But shout out to Jacob, insane. I got biggest handout ever, free computer, crazy. And I'm gonna finish setting it up when I get back, I think. But I also need to figure out where to put it. I like it on the desk, it's gonna stay on the desk, but I can't put it like right in the middle because I have that. So I have to figure out like where to place it. But all good, still insane view with the iMac there, absolutely nuts. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we have it all set up. This is what it looks like, and I fucking love it. All right, I'm gonna turn on the light so you guys can see. Of course, I have my speaker right here. I have my Chromebook. This is some wholesale stuff going on. That's Detroit, Michigan. I got my tripod right there, which I'll probably move when I'm not using it, but that's a nice little space for it. I have my mouse in here, and then in here I have my computer case and my notebook and all that. So it all kind of fits together. I also have this light that I wasn't sure if it would really fit, but it does fit. And of course the city is behind it, which looks insane, especially with the lights off. I mean, come on, that's badass. Also, this is such a tiny thing, but I was able to fit both chargers, so my computer can charge here while that's also plugged in, and it all connects right down there, and that's super satisfying. I'm sitting here in my chair right now, I'm taking it all in. Like, that is a massive computer compared to this little guy, what I was doing work on before. That's huge. And not to mention the whole city. Nuts. All right, you guys, I wanted to quickly check in. There's a number of things that I've just not talked about on here yet, and I want to give you guys a little bit of an update. So we're just going to kind of go down the list one by one. First things first, yes, I was driving the Cross Tour today. Yes, it still doesn't exactly work. It gets me from point A to point B. Does that just fine. It's a great car. I love it a lot. At some point in time, the brakes in that car will stop working, and I will need a new vehicle. When will that happen? I don't know. And so I have this kind of random couple months, I don't know how long, with the car that works. If I turn it on, it drives. I put gas in it. It brakes just fine now. But at some point, coming up, at some point, it's not going to work. So I'm going to have to figure that out. So that's update number 1. Update number 2 is I did actually get that job that I was talking about earlier. They said between 3 and 6 p.m. It got to be 5:45. I hadn't heard anything, and I just assumed I didn't get it. But they gave me the call, and they said, hey, you got the job, which is fantastic, because I have been looking for a job for months. Not months. It's like a month and a half. But that took significantly longer than I thought it was going to take. But I finally got a job, so that's super cool. Update number 3 is, as you guys saw, I got the computer. It's all set up. I have to learn a lot about it, so there's things like opening multiple tabs, which seems like a really easy task that I don't know how to do. So I got to figure all that out, but it's nice to have 2 screens, and as I showed before, like it's massive in comparison to my Chromebook, which is super, super exciting. So that feels great as well. Okay, the last thing I have for you guys right now in this moment is not an update, but it's instead just a touch of knowledge, I guess you could say. Because I was thinking about this a lot, especially today. And I call this the universe tax, and I'm sure there's a better name for it, or someone has summed this up in a simpler way somewhere else, but I'm going to do my best shot at it here. And it's this idea that before you get what you want, there is something you have to go through or something you have to lose in order to end up achieving what you actually want to achieve. And I have felt this to be super true in my life, especially right now in this moment today, of just like applying for jobs, not hearing back from anyone. A lot of companies said that, you know, I'd made it to the second interview and they were super excited to see me in the second interview, and then just I never heard back from them. And I would call them and I would email them and nothing. And so that happened for a month and a half, and now finally I got a job. And the same thing with the Chromebook, right? Working on my Chromebook, starting YouTube, not knowing what I'm doing, and working with, you know, my phone as the camera still, and my Chromebook, and editing on my Chromebook, and having my Chromebook crash back in like July or August. Daniel and I were on vacation, and I filmed a little clip where I was like, I'm trying to edit the sound into this video, And whenever I try to edit it, my computer crashes, and that's really annoying. And so super exciting to now have this big computer that will hopefully fix that. But that's the thing, is that universe tax, right? And there's two sides to this. I'm going to start with the side one, which is the undergoing of the not so fun experience. I phrased that kind of funny, but I think you guys get the idea. This idea that in order to achieve what you want, the universe has to require something in return, right? And so, for example, with the job, right? I chose to quit my job, so me being super poor is on me, 100%. But also, it's like I couldn't find a job, and because I couldn't find a job, I was super broke. If you guys saw the last video, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen the last video, after this video, go watch the last video. It'll explain all of that. I am still broke right now. And that sucks. Like I was explaining in the last video how I didn't have anything to eat the other night, and I sat on my couch back here and ate caramel corn because it's all that I had. And like that sucks. And also like what a fantastic experience that is to be able to have. And you see it here, right? Of like trying to get a job, failing over and over and over and over, sitting on my couch eating caramel corn, not having any money, trying to figure out how am I going to pay rent last month, right? Trying to figure all these little things out. And now finally I got a job. And the job itself is, I'll have to actually go in and do the job to give you guys a full review, but it looks really, really good. And the jobs that I was applying for before I applied for this job were like okay jobs, but like, not amazing, but this one looks really good. And I put my resume in and I thought, the chances of me actually getting this are so slim, but it's worth a try, and I got the job. So that's part of the universe tax, in my opinion, is being able to have those moments of, wow, this sucks, this is awful, whatever, and then finally get that thing. The second part of that I wanted to speak on is that's what gives it value. And I said this in my last video, I see this in almost every video, but to be able to experience not having that thing, trying over and over and over and failing, right? All these experiences, they're like bad or they suck or whatever, but ultimately, when you finally get the thing that you want, you'll have so much more appreciation for it, and it'll hold so much more value because you remember the times when you didn't have it. And this is exactly what I'm seeing even tonight with the computers, right? Like I have this massive computer, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing because I remember the times when I was on my Chromebook and it was crashing, or whatever it is with the job, even today, right? Of just like, yeah, I was trying to get a job and failing, and it was on my list of things to do, and it hadn't gone away. I wrote apply for jobs. And that had been on my list every day, because I make a list every day of what I want to accomplish that day. And every single day there was that thing at the bottom that said apply for jobs. And it was fucking annoying, because like, dang it, I still don't have a job yet. And then I got one, right? And now I'm like, wow, I'm really psyched that I got a job because I remember the times when I didn't have one. And that's my whole thing here, is being able to appreciate the positive, but also the negative, being able to appreciate all of it, because if you learn to appreciate all of it, then everything holds value no matter what it is. And so in those like bad moments or in those tough moments, if you can learn to appreciate them, be like, wow, this is fucking great. That's one, it's going to make those moments less awful for you. But two, those moments are going to mean so much more to you when you then finally get the thing that you've been wanting to get. So I wanted to touch on that. That's my little spiel on the universe tax. And feeling that today especially, there's a number of things like a car, and better housing and getting a computer and getting a job. Like there's all sorts of things on my mind of ways that I can improve. And it feels great to, in the same day, have two of those things be like, not completely taken care of, but like to really make some progress towards those. That feels fantastic. And the reason it feels so good is because I remember the times when I didn't have it. All right, guys, here we are. All right, let's try that again. Here we are. We got Slurpees. Got to celebrate the wins. You also got to celebrate the losses, which is what I talked about in my last video. So I wanted to make sure that I acknowledge that as well. The man, the myth, the legend, Daniel Cornels is finally here. Insane. Yo. We have some big plans. Huge plans coming up. So stay tuned, you guys. Not going to share too much at this moment, but in the coming videos, you're going to find out. Sorry for the shit lighting, but one thing I want to mention is we're in Lads Edition right now. For those of you who are not from Portland and don't know what Lads Edition is, take a look right here. Absolute clusterfuck. But behind me is Daniel. And behind Daniel is our elementary school. So this isn't really a fantastic shot, but that was our elementary school, which is wild to think that like we went there, and Daniel was just talking about how he like had like an after school program.
Fucking art for life, bro. I was there so long. It would get dark outside, and I'd be, Mom, come pick me up.
So totally wild to feel like we're nowhere near where we want to be yet, but this is where we came from. Like we didn't come from this elementary school. We used to go to this elementary school, and that's insane. We were 6.
That's where we met each other.
That's where we met each other.
That's
We were
what's
6.
so dope about this place.
That's right. We'll have to pull up with our McLarens.
Oh, one day.
Absolutely. Alrighty guys, that's gonna be it for this video, but updates are coming. Big thing just happened today that I'm not gonna share yet, but big things coming. Anything you wanna say?
Stay tuned.
Yes, stay tuned.
There's a lot going on.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're gonna be millionaires, 100%.
Very soon.
Very soon. Oh yeah. There has to be another reality, you guys. There has to be another reality where I'm not driving home in my Honda Cross Tour with the lights on, stuck in traffic. There has to be another reality. There has to be a different version, and I will find it.